Okay, we're going to be doing a Thunder Creek rainbow imitation.
A Thunder Creek rainbow imitation. Let me hold it out here for our viewers to see. This is a super cool looking. I love the head on this. It's super way cool. There it is there.
Yeah, that's what you call almost an exact imitation of a bait fish.
Oh, yeah.
You know, leaning towards that. We've done streamers now in the past couple of weeks, Black Ghost and Magog Smelt, which are pretty impressionistic, and so is this to a degree, but now we're starting to get into the form of the fish, you know, itself. And that was devised by Keith Fulsher in the 50s, I do believe, late 50s, early 60s.
How is the head
become a
formed,
standard.
Is that layers of cement?
Well, you instead of tying the bucktail on as you would normally with just the flow of it going back, you tie it forward over the eye of the hook and then pull it back.
Wow.
And then tie it off.
It's cool.
Yeah.
However you did it, it's a great effect.
Yeah, it's nice.
Alrighty. Well, to help you tie this fly for today, here's a list of ingredients you will need. The hook is a 4x5x long straight-eyed streamer. The thread is white 3/0 monocord, red 6/0 monocord. The body is flat embossed silver tinsel. The throat is white bucktail. The wing is pink bucktail with olive bucktail over. The gills lacquered red thread, and the eyes yellow with black dots. And that's everything you need for the Thunder Creek Rainbow. Let's get ready to rumble.
Okay.
What are we doing, bud?
Now, the viewers will notice on this hook, when you get a tight shot, it's you can see its color change up around the eye to the shank. This was a down-eyed hook, and I heated it up, took the temper out, and squeezed it with a pair of pliers to straighten it out. Straight-eye streamer hooks aren't easy to find.
Wow. So you made your own?
Yep. Now, what
sort of like a hockey player, putting your own bend in your own stick.
That's right. Now, we'll attach our thread behind the eye as we normally do.
Now, would that weaken it?
It could if you put too much heat there, right?
Yeah, so that's just trial and error.
Yeah, it's just trial and error.
Yeah.
If I were doing it by any number of these, I would certainly go by the proper hook. I believe the number is 9775 for this hook. If I am correct, but again, I'm not sure.
9775.
Okay, what we do now is just stroke and untwist the floss or the tying thread a little bit, and we'll go down in nice tight turns. Now this body on this fly calls for embossed flat embossed silver tinsel, but you can use motor piping, which even makes it a little fishier looking, you know.
Something fishy about this.
Yeah. Okay, we come down to a point. I'm going to just back off a couple of wraps. About midway between the barb and the point. Okay, we're there now. And what we'll do is we'll get some flat embossed silver tinsel. And what I have to do is I have to cut straight across and just up on an angle for a distance so that I get a little tapered point on the tinsel.
Okay, well, that's pretty standard. Now, you've done that with some other things.
Yeah, and what I'll do is I'll take my hackle pliers.
Which I shall hand you.
Okay. And just make a crimp. Usually I use a pair of tweezers, but I forgot to take my tweezers down.
I'd love to do a show where you remembered everything, you know? But it's good, because you're improvising, so you're using something else. Okay, now we've got a little bend put in the tinsel. And it'll help hook it right in place.
That's right. Now I'm just going to hit that with my hackle pliers and haul it up. There.
Get it right underneath.
Yeah, that's right. And I'll wrap in nice close turns. Nice and even. And again, untwisting and flattening the thread as I go along. Make a nice smooth underbody. If you have if you have a bulky underbody or just uneven and whatever, you can see the ridges when you wrap the tinsel, right? And it just doesn't look nice. Now I go up to a point about a quarter of the distance from the eye.
Gotcha.
Quarter of the shank length, right? Now I'll lay down some cement again for when I wrap my tinsel. I'll make sure now I bound the thread to the shank, and I had a nice drop of cement there. And now before I wrap my tinsel, I'll also have a layer of cement. Now, you should wrap this material edge to edge. And what you do there is you wrap a half wrap on the previous turn and let it slide off, and you can feel it click. This is metal tinsel, so you can put some pressure to it. Now you can see the lacquer. I can see it. I don't know if our viewers can see it. The lacquer is coming up between the spaces or each turn of tinsel, and that's good because everything's getting bound together, right? Now we just keep wrapping until we get to the thread, which is our tie-off.
So all that oozy stuff is good to bind it together.
Yes.
Don't panic.
No.
That should be there.
Now I'll make 3 turns. That's my tie-off, and I'm going to make. What I'm going to do is just going to clip some of this extra tinsel off here.
What a guy. Just get rid of it.
Yeah. Now.
Save it for
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I took 5 extra turns in place, and where this is metal, what you have to do is you just wiggle this back and forth, and it'll break away by itself. And undo those 5 turns.
4. One
more. Okay, one more.
5.
There you go.
You put
That new
in.
math, boy. That new math.
I hear you.
Okay.
Where are we going?
Okay, we'll make 1 extra turn. We'll turn the hook over, and what that did was release that extra turn. What we're going to do is we're going to put in our belly now, what we call the belly of the fly. Usually, if we do put something on the throat or on the bottom of the hook, we usually call it the throat, but on this, it's called the belly because it extends way back and imitates the belly of the fish, right? Now, what I'm going to have here is white bucktail, and usually you see me stack my hair, put it in the hair stacker, and tap it down and even it up. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to even it by hand.
Why?
Well, it's not good to have these fibers really even. It doesn't look nice. It looks like it's cut on this particular style of fly. Now we just want to come back past the bend. You want the hair to lay just past back the bend. So what we got to do is we got to add that much there between the thread and the eye. Extra.
Again.
That's right, because we're going to fold this back over. You understand?
Well, I do. I mean, is there any doubt that I understand? Yeah.
Okay. That's going to work out good. Now what I'll do is I'll just come up a few turns and lay in some cement. There we are. Turn this forward. And tie it off. Right up to the hook eye.
Okay.
Now it should be a little down on the sides.
Not totally sitting up on top.
No, just a little bit on the sides, and you can flatten it out with your thumb and forefinger.
That's the way mine go naturally anyways.
I know. You're learning though. There we go. Now I'll make 1 extra turn. Turn it over.
Whoa. Here we go. Getting complex now.
Yep. Now, I'm going to straighten out just a little bit. I just want to make sure it's spread out, fanned out a little bit, you know? Next material is our underwing, which in this case is hot pink bucktail.
Interesting color.
Yes, isn't it?
Remind you of anything, or
Passionate pink. That's what we call this.
passionate pink? Okay. That's just something you dyed yourself?
Yeah, it's just a hot pink. Again, I'm just evening by hand, right?
You disco guy, you. Hot pink.
Yeah. It's nice. It's a nice color. It's a beautiful color.
Probably nice and showy. Now you get it in the water there. And
Oh,
it's
definitely,
moving along
definitely.
and everything. Really.
I find pink good in any streamer. Now we come just out past the bend again. I like this bunch of hair not to be as long as the belly and the top.
Okay. Is this going to be exactly the same, except it's on top instead of the bottom?
No, this is going to be an underwing, so that's going to be...
Opposite direction.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to tie it in as we would normally tie in a wing, with the good tips to the rear.
Towards the bend
Yeah,
in the
I'm
hook.
going to move down just a little bit now. And just let it in there. And you got to try to keep this on top. And that's good. Now just clip up this section without clipping the good white spots, right?
Of course. Goes without saying.
Yeah, that's looking really good.
Yeah.
And the next section is the olive bucktail. Now what I've got here is yellow, dyed yellow bucktail. But if you turn it over to brown, so you usually use white and brown in bucktail.
Okay.
So the yellow is, of course, just the white bucktail dyed,
Sure.
and the olivey brown is the brown that's been dyed yellow. I would like to have a little bit darker than that, but it works well.
So that was just one dye job, and the white stuff went really yellow. And
Yes.
the brown stuff stayed sort of brown, but a bit of yellow in it.
Yeah.
So you got a nice contrast with
Okay.
one piece.
Yeah. Now again, we got to even this stuff up by hand.
When you say even it up, I mean, what are you actually doing? Trying to just line up all the tips?
Well, they will line up pretty good. It will never be as well if you did it with the hair stacker, right? Which is good. I like to have just a little bit of tapering to the hair in the streamer fly.
So you actually remembered your hair stacker for this
Yes,
show, but
yes.
you're not going to use it.
No.
I'm starting to catch on, Obi-Wan.
I got a few stray fibers kicking around that aren't long enough. You got to flick out those old short stubs because you don't want any hairs.
They'll probably fall out in the first few classes, and that might then loosen up your...
Not the point of that, but it just doesn't look good. Like if you got a wig laid down and you got halfway, you got stubs sticking up. It's just not nice looking, right? Now I'm just going to make a few more adjustments here. We're almost there. And we also want the longest fibers, right? Because it's got to go a fair distance out over and bent back, right?
So you measure this one the same as the white one?
Well, what I'll do is I'll just measure it a little longer than the white.
Okay.
I'm going to back up here just a little bit. There we are. And put the cement on. Let it work right down through. Cementing this fly is very important, right? You gotta have a lot of cement on this fly. And here we are, just a little bit longer. Lay it on top. And I'll tie it back a little bit. Then I'll start working forward. And I'll make sure that I twist it over so that it's getting down around the sides also, right?
So this will meet the white one?
Yes,
Sort of
that's correct.
milled together.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't you clip that off then, and then we'll take a strategic time out. And the tip of the week, Rob, is...
And we're going to be doing the whip finish.
Here it is, folks. We got lots of mail. Everybody was asking for the whip finish. How do you do the whip finish? How do you do the whip finish? So he's going to do the whip finish using regular fly line, not the thread, so that you can see it a little better. So here it comes. Go for it, big guy.
What we'll do is we'll show the viewers how we tie a thread in to start the fly to begin with, because we have to attach this.
Sure.
We just hold on to the standing end, or free end, and wrap over it, keeping pressure on the loose end, right?
Okay.
You just wrap over it. It's so simple. Look, it's all wrapped in. You wouldn't believe the number of people who have trouble with that.
Yeah. Just do it one more time now.
Okay. Really quick.
So your first loop is almost on an angle.
Right.
Right.
You just
First one
lay it
comes
over.
in and goes over the first one and locks it in place. And
Right
there
on.
you go.
But that's locked in with 3 or 4 turns.
And then you would then snip this?
Sure.
Yeah.
And carry on. But okay, we'll just leave that there because we need tension to hold that fly line.
Okay, now we're going to work our way up. So you've just tied a great fly.
Now we're going to whip finish.
Okay.
Okay, we bring our 2 fingers from underneath. Now we're just going to hold that there and bring the bobbin over on top.
Okay, so it's crossed over.
Crossed over. We're going to split our fingers. You've got a line on top and a line on bottom. The line on top is coming off your forefinger. The line on bottom is coming off your middle finger. Now the pressure right now is on my forefinger.
Okay.
I get it down here and I transfer the pressure from my forefinger to my middle finger.
Okay. Bring it down.
Bring it back up again.
Do the
Split
same.
it. Transfer the pressure from my forefinger to my middle finger.
Okay, so just stop right there. In doing that, what's happening is he's actually twisting the line over on itself.
That's right.
Okay, so that comes, because if you can't see it, it comes down, up over the top.
And I'm twisting.
And when he transfers his finger, he twists the line at the same time.
Yeah.
Woof.
Exactly.
Wicked.
And when we got 3 or 4, we usually use about 6 hitches.
Yeah.
You just pull tight.
And I'll call Rusty.
There you go.
Wicked. Let's do it one more time. Okay, here it is,
Okay.
one more time.
Here
We'll
we
give you
go
a couple
again.
of different angles to see this by now. Go for it, big guy.
Okay, we cross from underneath.
Yeah, backhand.
2 fingers, backhander. Backhand smash. Now we bring it up and cross
crossed
over.
Alrighty.
Now, split them. One on top, one on bottom. The pressure right now is on my forefinger. And I switch the pressure to my middle finger. Bring it down in front again. Split them. Pressure is on my forefinger. Now I'll go to my middle finger. Again, like John said, that makes a twist in the line.
Yeah.
And that forms your hitch.
So without even having to think about twisting it, if you just do the fingering motion,
Exactly.
it'll,
You remember the pressure points of your fingers. You got
it'll
it.
twist automatically for you.
And again, you usually insert a dubbing needle or a pair of scissors here, and you just pull tight.
Pull tight. And it's a little harder to do with the
Yeah, with the
using the
fine
bulky
line.
line and
Yeah.
everything there with a fine line.
But that should be just
Locked.
right in line.
And usually do about five
5 yeah.
flips and then lock it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that's it.
Now we got to a point where we had the wing, underwing, and belly in, and what I did, I just hitched off the white thread there.
Of course. So now we're going to go to
Just a red thread.
red thread.
This is going to form our gills, and we'll just tie it in. There we are. Now what I like to do is usually get my throat, or my belly in first. Tie that in first. Now you have to do this so that you get all your white hairs. You don't want to trap any of the olive hairs. It's going to be pretty tough to do, but you have to work at it. If you have 1 or 2 stray fingers, or fibers, excuse me, you can. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter a lot. Okay, we pulled it back, reverse the flow. Now you see we have some stray hairs here, but we can take care of that a little later.
Alright.
And what you want to do is you want to, once you got it pulled over, you want to flatten it so it gets to the sides.
Sure.
I'll pull that a little tighter. The tighter it is, the less chance when a fish grabs it of getting its teeth in between those loose fibers, right?
Okay.
So again, we'll just spread it. I'll take 3 turns all together,
Now you're going to flip it back over to where it was.
flip it back over. Yeah, keep working on it.
Do the same thing.
Do the same thing. I'll have to look on the other side here to see what it's looking like. Yeah. You shouldn't have any thread underneath showing. If there's a little bit, it's not going to be too harmful, but you want to do it so that there's a clear line between the white, the pink,
And the yellow.
and the yellow, or the olive in this case, right?
Okay. That looks
Now
pretty
you,
good.
you see I have some stray fibers. What I'll do there,
Snip, snip, snip.
just snip it out, and we'll whip it off. Now, our viewers are going to have to take at least 5 to 6 coats
Coats.
of lacquer from the gills, the back of the gills, which is the red thread, right to the eye, and just keep lacquering it, and about 5 or 6 times, and then just put the yellow dots or yellow eyes
I'll
in.
just hold the sample one out here now and
Yellow eyes
show
and
a shot
dots.
of that one again.
Sure.
As you can see, the yellow dots and the black eyes and everything, and that's what your finished product will look like.
Sure.
Like you said, that's a beautiful fly, and as we tried to do in every show, we different technique in almost every show to help you with a different aspect of fly. And that one is a really cool one. I guess all those extra layers of lacquer too sort of build up a glossy look
Yes,
around the head
yes,
too, right?
that's
Which
right.
is kind of neat.